Hello, and welcome to my channel. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizard and Reads, and today I've got another non-spoiler book review for you. And I'm a little dubious about doing this one, but before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get regular updates from when I post new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, that said, what am I reviewing today? Empire of Silence by Mr. Christopher Ruocchio. This is an author that was brought to my attention by Mike over at Mike's Book Reviews. And he really enjoyed the book. And then did a recommendation for people to go and try it. And I've had discussions with the author, Mr. Ruocchio. He's very, very intelligent. He's very well spoken. He's very informed. And I absolutely love interacting with the author. Now, I did not love this book. I didn't hate it, though. I was just kind of flat on it. And part of that may be some recency bias on my part. What is going on here in the Empire of Silence is that it pulls themes from many other books. I mean, this has got beautiful prose like Name of the Wind. If you love Name of the Wind and you're looking for a beautifully written book, look no further. It's right here. It's also, if you've been missing Frank Herbert and want something close to Dune, but with like the caste system from Red Rising without the brutality and the constant twists, look no further. If you're looking for the tortured protagonist who can't seem to have anything go right for him, and you don't really feel, you just read Farseer and you don't really feel like diving back into Fitz, look no further. Hadrian's your boy. If you just got done watching Spartacus or anything Julius Caesar, look no further. And I think that may be part of my issue with this book, is it pulls inspiration from so many places that it all felt kind of familiar. That said, let's go ahead and read the blurb on the inside of the jacket so you can know kind of what it's about. It was not his war. The galaxy remembers him as a hero, the man who burned every last alien Cielson from the sky. They remember him as a monster, the devil who destroyed a sun, casually annihilating 4 billion human lives, even the Emperor himself, against Imperial orders. But Hadrian was not a hero. He was not a monster. He was not even a soldier. On the wrong planet at the wrong time for the best reasons, Hadrian Marlowe starts down a path that can only end in fire. He flees his father and a future as a torturer, only to be left stranded on a strange backwater world, forced to fight as a gladiator and navigate the intrigues of a foreign planetary court. Hadrian must fight a war he did not start, for an empire he does not love, against an enemy he will never understand. Now, that is a very, very apt description, but most of that deals with future events. This is, I forget the actual term that deals with this kind of book, but essentially we are dealing with a Hadrian writing down his memories from 1,000 years ago. Although I think at one point he says 1,500 years, so I'm not entirely sure. It's either 1,000 or 1,500 years ago. This is very far into Earth's future where the Earth has been lost. Humanity has gone out and embraced eugenics, and now it is not uncommon for a patrician, which is a kind of noble of blood of the emperor, so to speak, to live 500-600 years. As long as you've got the coin to afford proper eugenics and genetic manipulation, which is all well and good. We are riding along in Hadrian's head for this book. And essentially, we start with Hadrian as a young man who wants to be a scholar or a scholiast. He doesn't want the throne. He doesn't want to be the heir to the throne. He really doesn't understand how his father or the nobility are so brutal. I think he's really a pacifist at heart, And that's some of the most damning things that happen here with Hadrian. If I'm going to talk about Hadrian, I've got to talk about Gibson, his scholiast who teaches him as a kid. He's kind of the father figure here. In instance, basically, Hadrian was grown in a test tube. His parents did not love each other. In fact, it is explicitly stated that his mother has no interest in men, and that she keeps a harem of women to spend her time with instead of being in a traditional type of relationship with Hadrian's father, who has no business or who has no interest in his mother either. He just wants to run his planet. And that kind of creates, so you know that he doesn't have really a family, and so he turns towards Gibson, his teacher, and develops that father-son relationship, and Gibson kind of imprints on him values and beliefs that don't jive with Alistair Marlowe's views. And this creates a lot of friction, a lot of tension. Hadrian's younger brother is more of the brute who's just going to listen and do what his father tells him to. And so he makes a more ideal heir. And Hadrian gets disinherited. And so then he is given over to the Chantry instead of the Scholiast like he wants to. The Chantry is kind of the equivalent of the Inquisition from Days Gone. Or, you know, it's born almost of the medieval church. You know, it's very, very, a lot of religious fervor and things of that nature. And so he flees the planet. He concocts a plan, and he runs away into hiding and gets into a lot of trouble. And, you know, basically it all goes wrong for him. And throughout his adventures, he makes new friends, he loses friends, he falls in love, he loses love interests, and just generally gets up into a whole bunch of shenanigans. In his time in this book, we do meet, I believe, the primary love interest, although nothing really happens there. I don't know if that love is reciprocated. We never really get into that. And that is going to be Volca. And Volca is not part of the Empire. I don't know if she's alien or not, but basically she is a xenobiologist or a xenoarchaeologist. Biologist, archaeologist, I don't know. She studies alien ruins and alien cultures and alien physiology. And Hadrian is instantly just drawn towards her. And so, you know, he kind of starts imprinting her beliefs on him as well, altering his worldview even further, and this gets him into even more trouble until we reach the climax, and then he has to resolve all of his decisions. Now, he fits well with Volca because when growing up to be a scholiast, he excelled in languages. And so he can speak 5 or 6, he can speak 7 languages, I believe, and 5 fluently. One of those, he's moderately fluent in Cielcen, which is the great enemy of the Empire. This is the only alien race that humanity has not been able to conquer yet, and they have currently been at war for over 300 years. Now, Hadrian is about 7 foot. I believe the Cielcen are about 9 feet tall. So, I mean, everybody has been genetically modified to be huge. All that aside, I mean, we do meet Cielcen in here. They are a very interesting creature. The technology in here is interesting. I just felt that this is like, I think it clocks in around 285,000 words. And up until about right here towards the end, I felt like I'd been there and I'd read it all before. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do know people who love this book. But I had to actually take a peek at the last page and spoil myself a little bit to drive me further just to see if this was going to get any better. Thankfully, it does. I am hoping that Howling Dark, which is book 2, the first, I think book 2 is Howling Dark. Yes, we're going to go with that. But book 2 is bigger, but we end in a place that is different than anything I've read. So I'm hoping my recency bias in book 2 is going to kind of go away and pull me through the series. Now, for this book, I recommend if you love Farseer, go ahead and pick this up. If you love Dune, go ahead and pick this up. If you love Name of the Wind for its beautiful prose, go ahead and pick it up. As I said earlier in the video, this is a beautifully written book. I have zero complaints there. I just felt that I had, within the last 8 months, read this book 5 times. And that's just because I don't know if it intentionally drew inspiration from these sources, but I connected this book to so many, what I consider great books. So yes, this is a good book. It just, at this point in time, was not for me. Or, I won't say it wasn't for me. It didn't compel me through the story. I do give this a solid 3 out of 5, even with those complaints. I would be happy to read this again in a couple years and see if maybe my attitude has changed. I am excited to get to the second book. I am going to try and space it out maybe 3 or 4 months because this is an unfinished series. He is currently, I believe, done with book 4, and it is currently at the editors. So I kind of want to give myself time to read books 2 and 3, and then hopefully catch book 4 upon release. I will be continuing. Even though I didn't love this, there was enough to pull me through the series. And this is very much in the vein of a space opera instead of your typical hard sci-fi. So there is definitely something that I am intrigued to continue. That said, guys, that is my non-spoiler review here for Empire of Silence by Mr. Christopher Ruocchio. So, the link to the Discord is down in the description below. Please, jump on in and join us. We'd love to talk to you. And, like always, guys, stay magical. Peace out. Bye.